now. Yeah.
Go back to All right.
Should be able to
well,
hear
we
us.
back. Do y'all hear us? Do y'all hear us now? We here. What's going on? Y'all already know what time it is. It's Mo Sports TV. Let's reclap it up. I'm with the gang, Matt Chi, and we here. Yeah, let's chat, Will. Yeah, we got something. Pause. We got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot of NFL signings, a lot of NBA signings, amongst other wild things going on in the sports world. A lot of shit happened today and / yesterday. Thank God, because we actually have something to talk about. We went into the meeting last night like, what the fuck are we even supposed to talk about today? But a lot of things happened today, and one of the things that happened today was Saquon signs for 1 year, $11 million, and he will be reporting to camp. Yeah,
a lot of incentives on the deal. As you had said last week, it was overblown. We already knew. That's that New York media. The New York media is going to do what it does, and they're going to talk their shit. They're going to, make it seem like the sky is falling. And they even pulled out all the stops. They brought out all the running backs into that Zoom call just for Saquon Barkley to ink a 1 year deal with the Giants for just $11 million. So, I think that was a wise move on both ends. And, hey, man, let's talk about the fact that the Giants, just last year with only DJ and Saquon, were able to get themselves a winning record and win a playoff game. Now you're bringing all that back and then some. The haters are pissed.
Yeah, they're just trying to find reasons to hate, and it's kind of hard now. Every single time that there's a knock, the knock gets answered.
Well, you got to notice, like you said on that Facebook post, the Eagles fans, they had to start coming out. They're getting a little insecure. They have to revert back to last year's scores in order to cope with the moves that the Giants have been making.
Right.
So I don't
They're
know.
upset.
It's definitely
look. What's happening is that the Giants went on a bad 10-year run, and 10 years is a long time for people that's our age. We're in the late 20s, early 30s.
Bro, most of my life, the Giants have been bad.
Most of my life, the Giants have been decent. But the past 10 years, after the Super Bowl wins, it's just been absolutely treacherous. And most people in our generation think the Giants franchise is a trash organization, and that's not really the truth. It's just not. It's not the case. And we finally got it together. They're mad that an era is over with the Giants. We have the right coaching staff. We have the right front office. Yep. We have the right players now.
And you're signing them to solid deals, team-friendlier deals than your last regime was, by a long shot. You're figuring out how to play the game a little bit with these incentivized contracts, finding loopholes, ways to get guys on the roster that you probably wouldn't be able to build in that case, just giving them a standard contract. So, Double R, it's not necessarily you that's insecure, but a lot of these other Eagles fans, listen, you're not commenting on the Giants' moves if you are that comfortable and that happy with being the best team in the East. I think they see a little bit of something going on in New York, and it's just rustling a little feathers.
I still think the Giants are probably a year away from actually being able to beat the Eagles in the NFC East showdown. I do think the Giants can upset the Eagles at least once this year, though. I do think that can actually happen. The Giants have improved in every single weak spot. And we got Okekre, which is super slept on. You get Deontay Banks, we get Darren Waller, we get a bunch of solid wide receivers, not prime number one wide receivers, but a lot of good veteran wide receivers that is going to do what Daboll wants them to do. And everybody got extended that needed to get extended. Dex gets extended. Daniel Jones gets extended. Saquon's on a 1 year deal, but they didn't put no franchise tag clause on that 1 year, so they could tag him again next year. So we're pretty much locked in with Saquon for this year and next year. The Giants are in great shape, man.
Daniel Jones, I may ask, do you have the right QB in Daniel Jones? And one thing, you look at the way that the Giants wanted to win games in the second half of last season. If you noticed, Saquon wasn't even averaging 20 carries a game in those last 6 weeks of the regular season and in the playoff game. In that playoff game, let's not forget Daniel Jones, 370 yards, 4 touchdowns, did his thing. You know, like he got his game off. And hey, I don't care that it's the Vikings defense.
400 yards, Listen, 400 yards. I don't give a damn. Playoff football, 400 yards.
It doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. And, you know, they want to talk about Saquon Barkley being the whole offense. Saquon Barkley isn't the offense that won you that playoff game. So I'm excited to see another year of Daniel Jones. Another year of Daniel Jones with a solid offensive line, too. We're now finding an identity in that O-line. Andrew Thomas is one of the best tackles in the league, and everything's just headed in the right direction. So the same way that the Knicks have rebuilt, you know, the Giants are right back rebuilding, and they're here. They're here to stay, hopefully.
I know for sure they're here to stay because they got all the right pieces and it's going to be lit. But let's go on to another signing. My guy, Justin Herbert. Shout out to him. He just broke the bank. 5 years, 262 M's.
Big deal. Big
M's. I think he deserves it, though. I mean, even though he hasn't won anything, not even a playoff game, he is one of the most... statistically one of the best young quarterbacks ever. So, I mean...
I get the knocks on him. He can't finish a game sometimes. He can't, you know, win you a playoff game, and there are question marks. Fourth quarter, does he have that dog in him? We were kind of yet to see that. But, hey, man, you know, that's an investment they're making into their future. And a guy like Justin Herbert, you can't not extend, right? Like somebody of that caliber,
right.
You have no choice but to break the bank for them. And, I mean, you said it, highest annual salary in NFL history, and now the Burrow deal is coming soon. Can only imagine that's about to look like.
That's going to look
considering
nasty.
He's the one that actually has won stuff for his team. That's going to be...
And Trevor Lawrence is going to get a crazy bag, too. When that's about to happen soon, too.
Yeah, Double R said paid off potential, not productivity in team success. I get it, but sometimes, you know, in the NFL, like, what are you going to do? Are you not going to re-sign him? You know, are you not going to hold down and set the tone with your franchise quarterback in that fashion? I mean, at the end of the day, he's a top 5 MVP caliber, you know, candidate year in and year out, and he probably will be for the next 3 to 5 years. So that's an investment you have to make.
And that offense is so promising. The addition of Quentin Johnson to that already disgusting offense is just going to get crazier. And yeah, I mean, he hasn't won any playoff games, but guess what? Like, a lot of that isn't because of Justin Herbert. A lot of that is because of incompetent coaches, incompetent defenses.
I mean, you don't
turnovers. That's not his fault.
Yeah.
A lot of things that weren't in his control. Yes, he's the quarterback and he has the most control on the team, but his team needs to step up.
You don't blow that lead as a quarterback. You know, at the end of the day,
if you're not throwing picks.
He should have put more points on the board. Absolutely. But at the same time, they've been defensive barn doors over there for years and years now. I mean, they're finally getting a solid defense to their name, and they're trying to make a little bit of a splash. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But paying Justin Herbert was something that had to be done regardless.
I agree. There was a lot of signings today in the NFL. Yep. A lot of big signings. Trayvon Diggs, 5 years, $97 million. He becomes the most paid corner in the NFL. What do you feel? How do you feel about that? Because I got mixed feelings about it.
My issue with it, so like he's been good, very above average, right? He hasn't been absolutely great. The thing that is concerning me is 5 years is a long time for a cornerback to be at the top of the league.
It's a classic Jerry Jones contract.
It 100% is Jerry Jones. You're going to get 2 solid years out of him. The back half of that is going to absolutely suck when he's older. I mean, it's just like when is a cornerback, maybe Darrelle Revis, you know, in recent history, Darrelle Revis, maybe Richard Sherman. Yeah, like this is a dime.
They don't last super long.
You get 2-3 good years. I mean, even Jalen Ramsey, you know, has somewhat skated a little bit from that elite lockdown cornerback status that we have come to know him, you know, and it's really tough because I wonder now with a guy like Sauce Gardner, you know, what is his deal about to look like when it's his time to get paid? You know, a defensive player of the year and rookie of the year all in one. And if Jerry Jones is handing out candy like this, I can only imagine what a guy like Sauce is going to get when his time comes. So I'm not a fan of it.
Me personally, I'm not really a fan of it either, just because of the style of Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is a very hit or miss guy.
He's dangerous.
He's either going to get you 2 picks in a game, or he's going to get flamed for 150 yards against. You know, it's never consistent, and like you said, a 5-year deal with a corner is just not sustainable. I feel like besides running backs, the corners are the most recycled in the league.
Yeah, remember when Josh Norman got paid? Oh my God. He had what?
That's terrible.
Maybe half of a good season after he got paid, and then he just fell off the face of the planet. I mean, it's crazy.
And that's a good point, Josh Peck. They did focus on the wrong thing. They focused on Diggs and not Martin, who is one of your best players on your team, one of the anchors on offense.
But like you said, classic Jerry Jones, going for the guy that sells jerseys, the guy that everybody knows. Like, that's Jerry Jones. That's just what the Cowboys do. And you're going to see now why they're stuck in mediocrity. I mean, I expect not much of the Cowboys next season. I know for a fact the Giants are about to whoop that ass, and I'm very excited. Woo! It's a bold claim I'm going to make now.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys are an interesting squad. It's just, I feel like it's the same thing every year with the Cowboys. I feel like they're gonna have the same record. They're gonna win 9 to 11 games, and they're gonna lose in the first round.
Yep.
That's the Cowboys every single year. And honestly, Jerry Jones is fine with that because they're relevant enough to be at the most top stage of the NFL at all times, get all the primetime games that they want. Yep. He's gonna sell out his stadium. He's gonna make bank. But he's going to keep them coming back for more because they can never fucking win.
Yep.
Just get past the fucking first round. And they're so stupidly loyal to their team. And I don't blame them because I'm stupidly loyal to my team. But
you know, like Josh said, hey, there's going to be a lot more, even if you paid Martin and didn't pay Diggs, there would be a lot more Diggs jerseys than Martin jerseys.
Yes, I agree.
So, you know, that's what Jerry Jones goes off. He's got his Diggs-Parsons combo, and then he's got Dak and CeeDee, and he's selling, 4 sets of jerseys. That's it. Nasty business. Let's talk about another cornerback that landed somewhere. Marcus Peters headed to the Raiders. Shout out to, I said it in our chat, Madden 16 ball hawk legend Marcus Peters. He's kind of washed now, so it's really not that big of a needle mover for me. But what do you think? The Raiders are trying to do anything? Like, what are they cooking? Raiders
are cooking ramen noodles. Honestly, like, they're not really doing much. I mean, Marcus Peters cool, but like, that's not gonna really that the secondary for the Raiders has been dookie for the longest time since since Woodson in them, and it's not going to change with Marcus Peters getting there. And Vegas is another Jerry Jones type of team. They're just going to light up the scoreboard. I mean, getting Garoppolo, I have no clue how this team's going to be.
Bro, they are the biggest wild card.
Last place. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they will be last place in their division this year.
They're not paying Josh Jacobs. He's still, yet to. And what are they saying now, that he doesn't want to return? Like, he's not looking to come back now.
He said Josh Jacobs reportedly left Vegas, and he said he's not coming back anytime soon. So what is Josh Jacobs actually going to do?
Future Dolphin? I don't know because it's like, what are the Raiders doing? Right? Like, they have absolutely no identity to their team. If anything, you're losing it now, right? The next best player on that team is Max Crosby. Devontae Adams is looking elsewhere. He's got his eyes on the Jets already. I mean, it's I don't know. I don't know.
It's not looking good, but Josh Jacobs needs to go ahead and just play one more year, carry them, and hopefully he gets paid the way he should get paid. You would think in a confident franchise like the Raiders would have just paid him, just because that's
what they do. You got to pay at least somebody to make the fans happy when you're sucking that bad.
Exactly, and they can't even do that. So the Raiders are just a mess. They've been a mess since pretty much Gruden came into town.
Yeah.
Since they moved, they've been a mess.
Yeah.
As a franchise, I mean, they have a great stadium, new fans. a new wave, but it hasn't came with good franchise success though.
Yep.
As far as the gridiron, and especially the offseason with these players in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
that is going to be a challenge for any major athlete, because there's baseball coming to Las Vegas, and there's basketball going to be probably coming to Las Vegas too. Very soon. And every single major sport is going to be in Las Vegas. That means there's going to be a lot of athletes in Vegas at all times. So, I mean, they better figure it out. That's all I got to say.
You're going to be losing money, a lot of money.
Yeah, I agree.
Josh says Peter's biggest mistake was leaving the Chiefs when he had a future there. Yeah, man, I don't know why anybody would leave a team like Kansas City. Just doesn't make much sense to me. Like, unless they're very much slighting you in pay. But I don't think that was the case. I think he just wanted, like, he was just looking elsewhere. I don't know. Not the move.
Not the move at all.
Let's talk about another team of the caliber of the Chiefs if we want to talk about the Buffalo Bills, because they just lost somebody that's a big part of their offense. Nyheim Hines is now out for the season. And big question mark now, is Cook cooking in Buffalo? Are we about to see a Cook backfield with both Dalvin and James Cook coming up this next season? Because that's the thought process behind a lot of fans now circulating, is that Nyheim Hines goes down. Let's go grab Big Bro and get him in there, grabbing some snaps as well alongside James. What do you think about that?
Me personally, damn, I feel bad for Nyheim Hines. Nyheim Hines was such a big part of that Indianapolis offense. He was that switch up back for JT, and he played.
No, we're talking Buffalo.
Yeah, Nyheim Hines got hurt.
Yeah, for the Bills.
And you're talking about, wait, what?
Nyheim Hines is a Bill.
Right.
They traded for him.
Right. He got hurt, right?
Yeah. And now we're
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Possibly going to the Bills, right? Because James Cook is on the Bills.
Yeah. Where's Indianapolis coming into play here?
Nyheim Hines was on Indianapolis last year.
Well, he played the second half of the season with Buffalo.
Right. Okay. What I'm saying is he was a big part of Indy offense before Buffalo, and he was a great part of Buffalo's offense too. And now they don't have that anymore. So, I mean, shit.
The tandem back, and now they're probably very much kicking themselves for not being involved in the CMC talks when they had the opportunity last year. So, I don't know. Hines played more and better with Indy. In an offense where you have Jonathan Taylor masking you, Buffalo was relying on him to be a big part of their run game and open up their passing game. Whereas with Indianapolis, it was kind of, the game was already opened up for him, and there wasn't game plans against Nyheim Hines. But once he went to Buffalo, a lot of people were now game planning on how these wheel routes and whatnot would work between him and James Cook, who's going to be the scat back in comparison, who's going to be rushing, up the line. So, I don't know. I think it definitely hurts you, and I think Dalvin Cook is the only move now at this point if you are the Buffalo Bills, because AFC is loaded, and you have to make a move. You got no choice. Everybody is coming to get you at the top, and you need to win games.
Nah, I agree. Dalvin Cook is the only thing that really, truly, actually makes sense here. His brother's there. He could teach him up. He's still a very good running back, in my opinion, even though he's a little washed compared to his primetime days in Minnesota, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years is a long time in the NFL running back's career. Definitely. At the end of the day, 2 years is like 10 years for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. But, Dalvin still has it, in my opinion. And I feel like that would be the move to make for Buffalo. So
I agree for sure. All right. Keeping it in the AFC, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. Apparently lighting up training camp alongside Garrett Wilson. We saw a little bit of a clip come out. Sauce Gardner getting burnt on a route that now A-Rod didn't throw the ball on that route, but he did get his ass handed to him by Garrett Wilson. So do we expect A-Rod to Wilson being the connection in New York this season?
It's absolutely going to be the connection. And I have very, very, very high standards for Garrett Wilson this season. Garrett Wilson was an absolute dog with quarterbacks of the likes of Zach Wilson, Mike White,
Joey Flacco.
and Joe Flacco. And he was absolutely him. Yeah. Him the whole season. Going crazy. So now he's going to have a former MVP throwing him the ball. Somebody that's going to gain chemistry with and get comfortable with. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a little older, but he still has it. Don't get it fucked up. He still has it. I seen the one highlight on the goal line where he caught the ball like this and tippy-toed, like he spun around, caught it like this, and landed on his tippy toes, two feet in. It was disgusting. It was something I'd never seen before. Garrett Wilson is going to go the fuck off this year. The fuck off. Especially now that the Jets have Breece Hall back and they got a nice little rushing attack going as well. And they got other wide receivers they can spread it out to. I mean, man, it's only going to open it up more for Garrett Wilson, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does. And obviously Aaron Rodgers, like, he loves those types of receivers, the lengthy guys that are going to get down the field. Garrett Wilson's a great route runner, so that's going to be very, very interesting to see. And Double R says Brock Purdy has been cleared for the start of training camp and will have 0 restrictions. That is crazy. He healed very, very fast from that injury. And, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of quarterback drama in San Francisco. Because
No, it's not.
No, you don't think Trey Lance is even...
No, he's cooked.
He's toast.
He's cooked. The only way I saw Trey Lance starting was because of Brock Purdy injury. Brock Purdy absolutely went off, did what he was supposed to do while he was playing for the Niners. I can't see a situation where the Niners are like just watching Brock Purdy's run all the way up until he got hurt against the Eagles, and be like, no, I still think we're gonna go with Trey Lance. There's no way that franchise is too smart. Their coaches are too smart to take a third chance on Trey Lance. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gets hurt. He didn't show really anything. When he was playing, he lost to the Bears when he played. So week 2 he lost to the Bears. Like, come on, bro. That was the worst team in the NFL. Yeah. So I mean,
at home.
Disgusting. Disgusting bag.
Purdy's the guy. Darnold would be number 2 if Purdy wasn't ready.
Yeah. Sam
Darnold. I forgot he was in San Francisco. That's nasty. That is nasty. If a quarterback goes down, the 49ers will try and trade him off to whoever needs him just to unload.
I think the 49ers should already do that.
Yeah, they have.
I think they need to unload him while he still has somewhat of a value.
Yeah, I would agree
while there's still quote unquote QB drama in training camp or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
but whatever.
It's like, I don't know, not needle moving for me, because realistically the 49ers, we see they could put in whoever at quarterback and they can make stuff happen. So
QB is a plug and play position for that offense, honestly.
For sure. But all right, let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens, because not only did they sign Melvin Gordon, but also Zay Flowers is looking like the number 1 wide receiver on that team in training camp. What do we think? Are we expecting a good season out of the Ravens? Are they a top team to look out for in the AFC?
They win the division this year. I'm calling it right now. The Ravens come back and win the division this year. They have been shitted on for far too long, via injuries, via contract problems, via no talent at the wide receiver level. They got their guys on offense now. There's no more excuses for the Ravens. And I think Lamar Jackson is one of the better in-season quarterbacks in the NFL. He wins ball games, and he's a dog. And with Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers, people sleep on Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers was my favorite wideout coming out of the draft, over Njigba, over Quentin Johnson, over all of them. Why? It's because of his yards after catch ability, his ability to get open. He reminds me a lot of a slot version of Tyreek Hill.
He's small, he's shifty.
He is fast, shifty, quick, can catch the ball, break tackles, juke you out your feet. I mean, he has the whole package, and his route running is impeccable as well, and his hands are great too. So honestly, I see the Ravens winning the division. I see it. Odell, Dobbins is back. They have another running back too, don't they?
Oh man, who was bro that just tore his shit? Jake, not Dobbins, but Gus Edwards. They still have Gus Edwards.
I think they have Gus Edwards still.
Yeah, I mean they got a little bit of a tandem going on. I don't know how much of a difference Melvin Gordon's really gonna make, because I think Dobbins is that main guy. But I don't know. I mean, the one thing is, like, I like the Ravens offense, but it also kind of reeks of mid at the same time. Like, the pieces that they got are solid, but at the same time, I could see it not working out, and it wouldn't shock me. Just because the guys that you're relying on at wide receiver, Odell, injury, coming off of 2 ACL tears, and young guys, like, I don't know, but I think Lamar is good enough to elevate them. So I do think that they're going to be, I'm going to say second in the division. I just can't see the Bengals falling off that much.
So. It wouldn't be much of a fall off for the Bengals. It's just that the Ravens got that much better. That's how I feel. And it doesn't reek of mid. I completely disagree with that. We've argued about Odell before. You think that because of his second ACL tear, it's gonna be a complete drop off. I don't think so. He came off of one, and he led that Rams team to the Super Bowl. Even got the first touchdown of the fucking Super Bowl game. He was snapping all playoffs, went crazy. So I mean, I gotta see him fall off to believe it. They have a brand new offensive coordinator, by the way, and that's one thing that's slept on with the Ravens. It's not Greg Roman's offense anymore. They're going to throw the ball a lot more now. Expect Lamar Jackson to throw the ball a lot more this year, guys. So it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one. I love to watch that division. That division is going to be great this year.
Yeah, it's going to be super, super entertaining. Legitimate concerns over those injuries, especially with a wide receiver. Yeah, we'll see, though. We'll see. At the same time, like, Simo's got to see it in order to believe it. Like, in order for me to buy back into Odell, I also need to see him, play at a high level consistently at that same time. So it goes both ways.
So Jordan Addison was going 140 miles on a
140 miles an hour in a 55.
Lord, and it claims to be a dog. His dog had an emergency, and he was going to the vet. I mean, if that's the truth, if it's not the truth, smart play. Smart fucking play. Because he went immediately from dumbass to a lot of people to, what would you do if your dog was in that situation?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That was a good card to pull if it wasn't true. If it was true, I bet. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not going 140 no matter what's going on, unless, like, my daughter is dying. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's where I'm like, I don't know if I fully buy into it, because yeah, it can be a dog emergency, but the dog is a lot easier of a card to pull than a family member.
What a play, though.
It's a very small. Like, it was
a hell
well
of a play.
Well executed on his end. If it is a lie, but if not, I'm hoping the best for him and his pup. That's really it.
Yeah, I hope his pup made it. If true, for sure.
All right, Denzel Mims. We were talking a little bit about the Jets earlier, but now he is headed to the Lions. Honestly, the Jets have been off of him for a bit now, so that's not really shocking to me.
Does he get a legit chance in Detroit?
They have so many wide receivers.
I know. That's why I'm like, is he gonna get shine? They have St. Brown. They have Chark. They have all these other guys. Like,
he might get a little bit of, like, some reps, but he's not. What he's looking for isn't in Detroit. That's for sure.
Yeah. And that's a chance. But Dan Campbell, if he's going to have a chance, I mean, Dan Campbell's a good coach to get a chance from.
I do love Danny Campbell, for sure. For sure. Big fan of Dan Campbell, eating kneecaps with spoons. I mean, great coach, culture guy, tone setter. Love Dan Campbell. All right. You want to head over to the NBA now that we're kind of over all the free agency signings?
Let me clap it up one more time. For the Washington Commanders being a stinky booty ass franchise, they sell their team. Dan Snyder finally sells the team. He gets fined $60 million on the way out, but whatever. He gained $6 billion, so who really cares? Magic Johnson is a minority owner.
Yeah, weird stuff going on.
Yeah, potential rebrand coming. So do you think they're going to come off that Commanders name?
I wouldn't. It's kind of stuck a little bit now between Commanders and Washington football team. What else are we going to do, man? Like, this is just, it's getting a little bit out of control now at this point.
If they're going to rebrand, they better go all the way. I'm talking about new colors, completely new colors.
Yeah,
completely full.
From Hornets to Pelicans type shit.
not even. Yeah. From Hornets to Pelicans. Yep. Facts. Yep. That's exactly what I would do. Complete rebuild and rebrand of that franchise.
Yeah, they need it.
But honestly, that's a good sign for the Commanders. I'm kind of upset Dan Snyder sold the team because the Giants should just beat up. It was a free two games every year.
100%.
So now they're gonna actually start competing again within the next 3 years, unless this front office and owner is incompetent, which is possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's possible.
It says I'd like them going back to Washington football team. Yeah, I'd like that as well. It doesn't really I don't. They're the Commanders, bro. At the end of the day, they're shit and mid mixed together.
Either Commanders or complete fucking new rebrand. Complete new name, new colors, new everything. All right, now let's move on to the NBA.
Jaylen Brown today signed the biggest deal in NBA history. A guy that cannot dribble with his left hand, dribbles basically with his knuckles. Just got 5 years. What was it? 300.
I mean, it's the same conversation every time somebody signs the Supermax. Holy shit, look at this brand new number we've never seen before, right? And everybody goes crazy and over-exaggerates and does the most. But really, truly, in 2 years, that's just going to be the regular number around the NBA.
Yeah, it will. It's just going to be regular because this cap space is about to get ridiculous.
With the new CBA, right? And yeah, 60 mil a year is a lot, but guess what? In 5 years, 60 million is going to be Jalen Brunson's contract going into
the 2028 season.
Yeah, bro.
Until then, that's the one thing. It really makes me feel better about the guys that the Knicks have been paying. And if your team has anybody that's even on a slightly solid contract right now, in the next coming years, deal is going to look even better as this cap space increases. So if you have anybody that's a solid ass player that's on a $20 million deal that easily could have been getting more, it's going to look even better down the line. So I'm excited for that. But other than that, man, it's nothing we didn't expect. Like you're saying, the cap space is increasing. There's more money than ever in basketball now. So, it is what it is. And Tatum next season is eligible for a $316 million Supermax. So hey, man, you're going to see that right back. We're going to have the same discussion a year from now about Jason Tatum. And the only thing that, could be a concern is, do you only have one finals appearance to show for it between $120 million spent per year? Yeah. You're about to pay that much and you haven't won anything, technically.
They haven't, but Boston, after this Tatum contract, there's going to be slim pickings.
They're about to be strapped.
They're going to be slim pick. It's 2 max contracts in the new CBA is going to make it really hard for you to win.
It's almost like they're the example that's being set of the new CBA, where you're not allowed to have 3 superstars. It's more top heavy, and then you got to pick out the rest. And that's kind of what they're falling for. It's unfortunate that they're the franchise that just happen to have the players that fall into that spot. But then again, it's a Boston franchise, so fuck them.
Fuck them.
The wee ball, as Knicks fans.
Fuck them, wee ball. Let's talk about, Bronny going into cardiac arrest at his first USC practice, man.
That's scary.
That is very scary. And I wish nothing but the best for the James family and Bronny and LeBron James in general and that family, man. That's nuts. That's crazy. For a 19-year-old athletic, superhuman type of body kid, how? It's just wild. There's a lot of questions to be answered.
A comment from Slobber says, gotta hope you draft well, and that's why teams are stacking these second rounders up. 100%. Everybody's getting a ton of second rounders, and that's probably why teams like the Knicks that have been just accumulating these draft picks, and they traded Obi Toppin for what we're calling chips in 2 second rounders. That's probably why teams are loading up on the back half of the draft. And look, man, the back half of the draft has been incredibly successful when you're finding guys like Nikola Jokic, in that back half. I mean, hey, how can you really complain, you know? And R.I.P. Bronny, hopefully he gets better. Well, he's not dead, so thankfully for that. But it's very concerning when somebody that's 19 years old, like Simo said, in a very good physique, falling to cardiac arrest. Like, it's very concerning. So they definitely need to get to the root of that.
And you already know it's controversial as hell. I'm not going to speak on why it's controversial, but man, there has been a lot of
these cases going on.
A lot of these cases have been increasing, and it should be looked into. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, let's go into Kemba. Kemba got signed to Monaco. What was that, Spain?
Monaco? I don't even know Monaco. Where it is, but truthfully, good for him because he's making now more than he did in his last season in the NBA. He gets to live on an island, and he gets to be the leader of a basketball team.
That's a crazy joke, Raheem. Bad timing.
Yeah, bad
You really going to call him Cardiac Kemba right as we talk about Bronny?
That's horrible.
Jeez Louise, man.
Come on, read the room, Double R. Jeez. God. But no, I'm happy for Kemba. He's about to go off. I mean, he's about to be the Jimmer Fredette of that league over there, the Stephon Marbury, whatever you want to call it. I mean, as long as his knees can just hold up even the slightest bit, he's going to go crazy. It really just all depends on his knee health, which you just don't know with Kemba Walker, man. You really don't know. But good for him nonetheless.
It's the Spain league. It's not like it's a Chinese league or an Asian league. They're hooping over there. Yeah. Like, he's not going to be as good as he's not going to be a Jimmer Fredette or like a Marbury in China, but like he's going to ball out. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely think. I mean, let's not forget, even when he was bad, like in his Knicks season, he still had a triple double. You know, on Christmas he dropped like 40. So he has his games. Still a bucket. Jamal says Marbury would be a good Knicks head coach if Tibbs gets fired. I don't know if they'd ever go that route, honestly. Dolan, I don't know if Dolan would have that.
That would be a Johnny Bryant. I would see Mark Jackson going to the Knicks before Stephon Marbury. But I like Johnny Bryant more.
I do love me some Johnny Bryant when it comes to the Knicks head coaching. But I don't think there's anything else in the NBA, but let's talk about, we're talking so much about contracts today. Let's talk about Mbappe and his deal that was offered. Now, I don't believe he signed it, right? He declined.
I don't know what he did with it yet. I'm pretty sure I've heard reports that he did actually decline it. But $1 billion for a year?
1 year, bro?
And $1 billion for a year? Are you shitting me?
Yeah, that's a crazy bag, man. I mean, these Saudi money, you know, the money that they're throwing at these guys is absolutely bananas. I mean, if you don't have your kid out the womb in soccer cleats, you're wasting time. Listen, like, we need to be training athletes over here.
We need to address the elephant in the room.
What's that?
What's going to happen when these Saudi boys, Al Hilal, starts offering
the LeBron Jameses and the
starts offering Giannis Antetokounmpo or Nikola Jokic $1 billion a year to play out in Saudi? What's going to happen then?
Yeah,
nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. But it's going to go down if it's happening in Europe and they're taking away players from the second most profitable league in the world besides the NFL. I'm pretty sure the Premier League is the second most profitable. Yeah. If they're doing it to the fucking Premier League,
what are they going to do to the NBA?
What are they going to do to the NBA? NFL? Shit. They'll start a football league. They'll start every fucking league. Baseball. They'll start everything. They have the money to do it.
Yeah. Do we think
who's going to compete with them? Cohen? And that's it.
And Slobber says you got to consider it. That's a lot of money. Yeah, no, it's a lot of money. And one thing that I want to ask is it slightly concerning seeing like countries and governments buying athletes essentially like that? Like, do we think that it's a good idea to have these like big people monopolize sports like that and like able to do that, or do we think that it should be separated in that sense? Like, I don't know, like the same way that you're saying.
It depends on the sport. Like soccer, you're allowed to play for multiple different teams in multiple different leagues and have multiple different contracts. Like you
Absolutely.
Mbappe is going to play for Al Hilal, and then he'll play for France, and then he'll play for another league.
Yeah.
Whatever part of the year it is, soccer's year round. But I think basketball would be possible to do with staying in your country and then maybe playing year round. I don't know.
It's tough because the NBA guys do love their offseason, and they say they need it, being that they're on the road.
And mind you, they doing it with golf too.
Jamal says it should be separated, and I like the Packers style where it's fan-owned. It's a good point. It's a very good point.
And they took golf too. Live.
Exactly. You're buying
Live
players
was Saudi. Live golf is Saudi.
Yep.
But PGA, that's going to be what was going to have to happen.
They're going to have to make an agreement. Like, look, we can buy you out straight up if you want it like that, but they're going to
the NBA, the NFL.
Yep.
That first time that they take an athlete, they're gonna buy that Saudi league out before it gets too crazy.
And once one gets bought, which they're plotting on, it's a domino effect after that. Absolutely. It's going to
be interesting. I could definitely see Saudi Arabia becoming a major hub of sports in the future.
And they already got Fight Island, right, over there. So
they got a lot of shit going on over there, and us Americans need to really see what's going. That's what's going on. Like they might just get the fuck up out of there. You know.
I mean, Live and PGA already merged.
Exactly. I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's going to be a regular probably in the next decade of these other leagues. They're just going to straight up buy him out. Straight up. It's going to be interesting to watch. Interesting development in sports for sure. Something that's not on the field that we are going to have to keep our eyes on. Absolutely.
And let's wrap this episode up with the last thing that happens this Saturday. Bud Crawford versus Earl Spence. That's going to be a hell of a fight. Probably the fight of the year. I'm pretty sure undefeated. I'm pretty sure both of them are undefeated fighters.
There's been a lot of shit talk leading up to it on both sides. Both camps are kind of rowdy with it. So what do you anticipate Saturday night? What's the result? What do you
I think Earl Spence wins. I think Earl Spence is just a straight up better fighter. I think Earl Spence is in Bud Crawford's head.
Very underrated aspect.
I think he won mentally already against Bud Crawford, and I think that's going to be what separates it, because they're very even when it comes to boxing ability, technique, skill. I do think Earl has the advantage there too, but I think it's really going to come down to mental.
And you brought up the hot sauce last week, right?
Yes. I want to say that story. Bud Crawford, somebody said somebody get the hot sauce, and Bud Crawford was like, yeah, ha ha ha. You know what I'm saying? And Earl's like, man, shut up. You don't even eat hot sauce for real. And he went back to his bus with all of his camp. He's like, yo, how the fuck does Earl know I don't eat hot sauce? And that was in his head the whole rest of the clip. And like that type of stuff right there, those are the little things that eat away at
100%
at a fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Because if he knows that I don't like hot sauce, what else does this guy have on me going into this fight?
Right, exactly. And
Scary.
I'll re-say it again. You know, Ryan Garcia, his camp was dirty, and they gave up everything to his whole scouting report pretty much to Tank. Tank knew that was his weak spot. And Tank hit him with a vicious one right there once he saw the opening, and the fight was over.
It was a wrap.
That was it. So we'll see. I mean, I feel like Earl has that advantage. So it's going to be a great fight. I can't wait to watch it.
Double R, I do not know what you're talking about with the fight this morning.
I did not see the fight this morning. I don't know which fight.
But we'll have to tap in if there is something.
Definitely got to tap in.
But I think that's going to wrap us up for today. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. You already know what's going on. No Sports TV will be back next Tuesday, same time. You know the vibes. Drop a follow wherever you're coming from. Drop a follow, drop a like, subscribe, all the rest. We appreciate all the support.